Okay, you guys, our guest is amazingly talented and super versatile as a voice actor, on-camera actor, and singer, songwriter, musician. She is known and loved for her work in Rugrats, Chalk Zone, and Powerpuff Girls, in films like Happy Feet 2 3D and Babe 2. Check this out. She was Dottie in the cult classic Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And as a singer, songwriter, musician, she has composed and performed in countless soundtracks. And of course, on her awesome CDs, which we're going to tell you how you can get. We are so happy to finally welcome to VO Buzz Weekly the incredible E.G. Daily.
Yay.
E.G. Daily.
Yay.
Put it there. So cool to have you
Thanks
here.
for being here.
Oh, it's nice
We know
to
how
hear.
busy you are. It's so cool when you guys take a little time off for VO Buzz Weekly and come and share with
Yeah,
us
it means a
and
lot.
with your fans and all those cool people out there.
That's what it's about.
That is what it's about, giving back, man.
That's right.
I want to get right down to it.
Okay.
Okay. Now I know you got a good story, but you do so much. I mean, you're so freaking talented. Is amazing, and we're going to get into that. But how did EG start this whole voiceover venture?
That's a loaded question.
Well, you know, come on, take us back.
Okay. You know, I never grew up thinking, you know, I'm going to be a famous cartoon. You know, people think you get into voiceover and you think you're going to be this famous cartoon person, you're going to do these voices. I never really thought about it. I basically have sung my whole life. Started playing the guitar when I was a little girl. Started writing songs when I was a little girl. Started doing acting when I was maybe, you know, a little girl, 8, 9, 10. Didn't really work a lot, but you know, I was just doing that, and then got out of high school, started working, doing a lot of movies, doing a lot of bands. I never thought I was going to do cartoons, and I did some play. I did a play, and in the play I had to do all these different voices. And someone came up to me after the play and said, "You're really good with your voice. You should really do something with your voice." And I was like,
You're like, I'm singing.
I'm an actress, I'm a singer, and I do voices. But the truth is, when I was a little girl, I used to make these little sounds. So pay attention when you're a kid to what you're doing, because that was the beginning of a tiny seed.
Wow.
So that thing sort of just opened up, and this guy believed in me, and I started working with him. And the very first thing I think I booked, that was a commercial, and the very next thing I booked ever was Rugrats, and that lasted for 14 years. So it was crazy.
That's the very next thing you booked?
Yeah.
That's
It was
amazing.
the second thing I ever auditioned for. The first one I got, and the second one was Rugrats for 14 years.
It's kind of a meant-to-be moment, huh?
It really kind of
Talk
was.
about planting seeds.
Yeah.
She's a freaking great seed planter.
And very good fertilizer, apparently.
Yeah, but there really is something to like listening to the little things you do as a kid.
Yeah.
The weird little artistic things you do. I mean, I really tell parents, watch your kids and try to really notice what they're doing that's their own little special thing. It might be like flipping their eyelids upside down. Who knows? But pay
YouTube
attention.
sensation.
Yeah.
Right?
Right? Yeah.
Were you supported as a child? I mean, all your little...
You know, my parents were good in that, like, my mom and dad weren't super educated, so what my mother would do is go to flea markets and buy a bunch of instruments and throw them in the house.
Yeah.
You know, weird accordions and guitars and drums. And so I think she instinctively went with, like, you know, I'll just put music out there for the kids to just mess around with.
Right.
I don't think she thought any of us were going to do, but all the kids end up singing, playing guitar. There's, like, 3 guitar players in my family.
That's awesome.
There's, you know, singers. There's, you know... I just think pay attention. She didn't know I was going to do voices, and neither did I. But it just turned out to be one of those magic things.
Are you the most talented one in the family?
I'm not going to be all cocky like you want me to be, but I'll say, you know, I'm pretty talented. No, I'm just kidding. You know, honestly,
that was
my
a
whole,
trick question. You don't even have to
stop
answer
it.
that.
Everyone listens to her more.
Yeah,
She's like,
No, my whole family's pretty talented. I mean,
That's awesome.
I have to say, I'm the one that's really pursued it and made a career out of it.
Yeah.
But my brothers and sisters are all super talented. My sister's a painter. Her name's Ren River, and she's got art. She does Western art, and it's all over. People buy her paintings. She's fantastic. RenRiver.com. Go check it out.
Whoa, check that out.
You know, so I just think they're all talented. It's just, you know, I chose to go the more flashy route and made a really great career out of it all. You know, but also listened to the signs and sort of followed how things were falling into my path and didn't try to force. I just kind of would flow with things. Like if it got slow with on-camera acting, then I would do some music. And if it got slow with music, then I would voiceover would happen. So I just kind of try to keep trucking along with whatever it is artistically.
Love that.
That's really cool, man.
Cool.
So you're a singer.
Yeah.
You're an actor.
Yeah.
Songwriter.
Yeah.
Musician. I mean, you do it all. How do you stay motivated?
I think that I try to stay balanced as best I can so I don't get burnt out. And sometimes I get burnt out, to be honest. I get burnt out, and then I just sort of sit back and go, I don't want to do anything. You know, like I went through a period recently where I was just like, I didn't feel like picking up my guitar. I mean, I might not pick it up for 6 months. And people are like, have you been playing guitar? I'm like, nope. And I don't have any feelings at all. But what's happening in that time period is I'm just like going through all these deepening things in my body and my soul, and all of a sudden one day I can't not pick up the guitar. I can't not play the piano, and I can't not write that song. So I try to really honor when I don't feel it and don't force it, because it means I need to be looking at something else. You know, there are times when I need to be a mom and be focusing on my kids, and then there's times when, you know, when I do feel like when I can't stop myself from singing, or, you know, so I really just try to listen.
That's great.
You know, to my own thing. And it is scary sometimes when I don't feel like doing it. I'm like, oh my God, is it ever going to come back? Am I ever going to want to sing again? You know.
But I mean, you give so much and you have so much work out there that you need to refill.
You do.
Yeah. You can't just keep giving it. You get depleted, and that's...
Yeah, you do. You do. And that's why I'm glad that I do different things, because like I get depleted in one area, I move to something else. But there have been a few times where I literally stopped everything creative, and I was like, what's wrong with me? I'm cracking up, you know, and then it all just starts to come back, but in a more beautiful way than ever, because it's deeper, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. So it's good to take a little break once in a while. See, don't feel bad.
No.
Just call E.G.
Call me.
She'll walk you right through it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people out there that are aspiring to get into animation, some that are in, and maybe it hasn't quite, the pieces haven't clicked. Do you have any words of wisdom, insight for them about especially animation?